MONDEALY. I've beaten the game and I know what they are referring to, but the way the phrase thinks in their review is going to lead people to think this game is something that is not. And I don't want to be unfairly judged down to the road, because for a single developer's first crack at full game, this ain't half bad. I also just got bad vibes from the Disney is all bullshit propaganda bit, so for now I consider this a one playthrough review and move on. MONDEALY, even in their little blurb about the game, claims Undertale, Valley and Oneshot as inspirations of the similar games, and it's totally there. MONDEALY wears its influences on its sleeve even down to the premise of the game. In the first hours, you are dropped down a hole into a temporarily hostile area where you get given your own room and aren't allowed to leave. There's a weird mystical character that seems to be much more involved in the things than in the first glance, whose character model even kinda looked like the outline of Sans. There's a few shots where you walk in that are pulled straight from Undertale. There's a Cluckerfish logo spray painted on the sign. It's all right here. There's quite a few other references in the game too that don't even feel overbearing. And without spoiling all of them, I noticed a Cowboy Bebop poster in one character's room. A lot of fun stuff like it's sprinkled all over, and I gotta praise just how much there is to find. The other biggest thing MONDEALY takes from those games is thankfully to the baller soundtrack. Music goes a long way to carrying an experience, and it delivers here for sure with plenty of massive 30 songs OST for a 5-6 hour game. Now, as far as gameplay goes, that's where MONDEALY divides, and while I'm going to criticizing it a little bit, keep in mind this is a solo dev that realized a full story in an interesting world that actually felt like it has a bit of weight behind it. A lot of solo dev games say that work on it for 10 years and it's like Pong or something really basic, lol. The guts it takes to write out a love story and share it with the people impressive on its own. However, the story is the gameplay. There is no interlocking gameplay system like farming in Stardew, combat in Undertale. You run around and solve problems, and that's kinda it. I understand why they were going for, and for a first attempt, I think they got damn close to being so great. The first issue that crops up are some pretty obvious lost in translation moments. Dennis, the dev, is Russian and some of the lines just don't have the same emotional impact when they get translated directly, and you can definitely tell. The second issue is pacing. Some parts felt like they lost some steam and some plot lines were going match 5, way too fast. It's also not gonna have the same jokes track in Undertale. Not to say it isn't funny, but it definitely has a few moments that will leave you scratching your head with the pacing and tone. It feels kinda like what I used to tell the creative writing classes IT8 for, right train wrong station. The idea is there and the execution got you halfway there, but it's not there just yet. There's one section at the end of the game where you watch a samba boat ride and it goes for legitimately 2 minutes. Then the camera swaps to the border view and the soundtrack picks up to another minute of floating. I feel like stuff like that is all over, where I like what they were going for, but the tightening up the pacing would do wonders. MONDEALY was definitely at its best when it did lean into the surreal a bit more, and I think a healthier dose of wheat would have done a lot for this one, as a lot of the bank and surprises and the wildness was saved for the final, which I get. But it also shouldn't take 5-6 hours to get to the good stuff in the game that is only 5-6 hours. Now for positives. It's obvious the dev has played a lot of great games. The hint menu has these cute stylized animations of the pretty that look like the Toy Jam and Earl. The menus are super smooth, there's a bunch of collectibles. I got 26 of 30 tapes and 9 of $10. And next to the sidebar, I don't know where else to swap this. The game felt great on controller for anyone worried about having to use mouse and keyboard. I intentionally didn't mention specifiers for the story, because I think the game is worth playing. It's far from perfect, but it's got some heart in it, and I think supporting this game simply to see the eventual evolution of it from Dennis down the road is worth it. What here is good, it's not a roller coaster ride that involves a lot of metaphysical and mystical elements from reality, like Edge of Earth, but I had a good time with it all. Thank you guys for watching this review. Be sure you followed my YouTube channel and hit the like button on this review, and see you in the next reviews.